so be careful. Don't hear a damn thing, do you? Unbelievable.
There you go. It was much more aggressive before I turned the camera on, I assure you. Talking to me like I was a fucking dog or a piece of shit, which is what they generally do, you know. The fucking fake old cunt with his fake white sticky. He's blind, but he knows that I'm fucking, there's someone stood there. Fucking, aye, of course there is. Just been walked past by, they've fucked off now. Oh no, they're coming behind me, that's good. I'll slow down and walk. Thought I'd try and do this on the street. It's been busy today because obviously it's Saturday, it's the weekend, it's always busy. Doesn't matter if it's Saturday or the weekend. I just put my bag back on my back properly. I just wanted to catch that fucking dafty. I need to try and do this so that I can see behind me. This side. See what you can see. See what it is that you can see. I keep getting the two letters. CW. It becomes a very busy little road, this, both with pedestrians and cars as soon as I start walking down it. And blind people and people doing the old military salute. I don't know if you can see, doing the old military salute for me. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm not an officer though. I'm not an anything. Well, I'm an anything. I'm fucking better anything than any of you fucking horrible cunts. It's hard to see with my glasses on. Oh, some regulars coming, so they're probably going to corrupt this video. Because when you get a look at some regulars, they don't tend to like that, you know. Say, oh, regulars. The conversation of the regulars is getting louder. Regulars. It's the most inconspicuous ones you've got to watch, you know. Not these fucking fuds with the camouflage gear on and the red and orange and blue. You know. Not the cunts wearing their stupid fucking costumes walking about all over the shop. You know, it's not them. It's not them that you really need to be paying attention to. Because they're just the paid mongs. You know, they're just the fucking gunts, the grunts. Yeah. It's the ones that look like the two that I see all the time. They've just walked past me. You know, the young kind of inconspicuous, decent looking, decently dressed, clean looking couple. They're the ones that you need to fucking look out for, because they're the ones really who are at the centre of it all. But I keep getting the same two letters given to me, CW, and it's only within the last couple of days that I've paid any attention to it, and it's as in C, you know, as in look, and W as in double me, or me doubled. It's a few years ago, when I lived in my house in Cumbernauld, where I lived the town that I grew up in, and then when I left the army and I ended the relationship that I was in, I moved back there, you know, after my parents died. I got an inheritance, so I was able to move back and get myself a flat. Anyway, that doesn't matter, that's not important. But I don't know if any of you have experienced it anywhere that you've been or gone, and you see someone that you think looks just like another person that you know, and it's only when you kind of get close that there's subtle differences, you know, maybe a little kind of difference in height, or you know, just something. I'm quite observant, although it took me a while to recognise this was happening to me, so obviously not that observant. You know, I'm also very naive. There's a regular that goes past me all the time. I'm very naive, very gullible, very trusting. You know, I was up until recently. Now I'm not so much, but I used to be. But I'm also quite observant. I think that's why, you know, they kind of don't like it. They don't like people who kind of look. They want everyone. You know, that's the phone thing, isn't it? the phone thing is, you know, you're all kind of looking down. You're all looking down at your phone and you're not paying attention to what's going on in the world around you. And they like that. They love that. They love it if you're doing that. See I don't know if you picked up on the t-shirt, it says Death Lord. There you go. Always with the fucking boxes as well, these cunts. Always, that's like one of their things, you know. They have to carry fucking boxes past me all the time. It's weird as fuck. Fucking creepy. Creepy as hell, honestly. Creepy as fucking hell. Really are. Creepy as fuck. Yeah, so I'm quite observant, which is probably not all that helpful to me now because I observe too much. Not even the big things, not the colour things, and that's the little things, the subtle things, and the double speak as well. You know, I'm quite good at paying attention to that, and they know it. I was told by a mental health nurse once that you know, it's unfortunate that I'm intelligent because most people they wouldn't pay attention to what's going on, or they would be able to quickly forget it, you know. I don't know if that was a compliment, a fucking backhanded compliment. I don't think of myself as intelligent, just observant, just able to kind of see the little details, and that's unfortunate because they do the little details a lot around me rather than the big. I mean, they do the big ones as well, you know. I get mobbed by all the cars surrounded to try and get me to a peak level of fear. But it's the little things, you know, the little badges on their clothing, and little, you know, the subtle names on their clothes, their clothes, or their actual names, or the things that, you know, the little things that they're using, or the way that they talk. One of them spoke to me the other day and threatened my child. And I can't tell you exactly what he says because it would be it would expose not my child and where my child lives, you know. So I can't tell you the exact scenario of what it was that he was saying. I don't know if you've seen that package, but it said glass. You know, I was talking about Mary Glass. It's getting very busy, isn't it? It doesn't actually go anywhere, this road, you know. It ends at the beach, and when I say it ends at the beach, there's no parking down there for the beach, so it's not like you can drive down there and park and get onto the beach. It doesn't go anywhere. It's just simply a housing estate, a dead end at the end. But yeah, the subtle things I kind of notice, which is unfortunate because it fucks with your brain, you know. But yeah, this guy the other day threatened me. Well, he threatened my child. He kind of made sure that, you know, he used the word parasite and then used the person's name of the house of where my child lives. You know, the house that my child lives in, one of my children live in, and used the word parasite, and then told me that there's a way to deal with it though. There's a way to cure it. And then this isn't a fucking country walk, you know. this is in the middle of the nowhere. This cunt just pops out with his dog. Oh, he also made sure to mention my child's age, you know, the age of them. He brought up that number just so there could be no doubt in my mind about who it was that he was talking about. A threat for me to shut the fuck up. But he said there's a way to cure this parasite. And he pulls out of his pocket a pair of secateurs, like you do, you know, and does this. Like, you know, that's the way to cure it, like we're going to fucking do something. Just like a threat, but again, it's all kind of double speak. If I ever went to anyone and said that, and even people listening now, you know, they'll make sure that people within the community will be sure to listen to this and hear it. They'll make sure that they're given this just to make it sound as though I'm an absolute nutcase. That's what they want, you know. So if I were to ever tell anyone, they'd say, oh, I mean, just the little nice old man was just telling you about something in nature. He was just informing you, just letting you know things. But of course, I know, and some of you know, some of you are able to decipher the double speak that these fucking demons talk. I know exactly what it was that he was saying. But of course they can't tell you it. They can't tell you. Lest you be mad if they actually told you the truth. Or lest you be able to go to someone and go, this guy's who I don't know is threatening to do something with my child, obviously to get me to shut the fuck up. Everyone, you know, people might pay attention then, but no. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, CW. So where I used to live, I don't even know what time it is. Probably gone over. I'll tell you this quickly, even though it was the whole point of the thing. Where I used to live, so I knew this guy. I think his name was Vince or Vinny. I can't remember. And he was really distinctive looking. This is the first time that I've kind of paid attention to this. Actually, the second time. The first time was when I was a child and I went running after someone who I thought was one of my friends from school, and I was calling her name, and she looked the spitting image of the friend from the back, and I went running after her, and she kind of she went off somewhere. She went off took a little road off to the side. Oh man, I can't with these cunts. I can't. You just have to notice the little things. There was some standing up here in the corner, and they've just fucked off now. So I went running after her, and then she turned round, and it clearly wasn't her, but from the back it was the spitting image, and she was wearing something that this person regularly wore. You know, like I said, I was a kid and I was friends with her. So I pretended, you know, I was kind of shy about what I'd done and being caught like shouting to a stranger by this name. So I pretended that there was someone going another way, you know, and just kind of carried on running like past her. So I didn't look like an idiot. So that was the first time it happened. So the next time, really, that I kind of noticed this when I started paying attention to this was where I lived in my old town. And this guy, like I said, his name was Vince or Vinny, and he was really distinctive looking because he had a Mohican, and he used to wear kind of, I don't know what, he was into kind of rock music, and he would wear like sleeveless tops with like bands on them, and a lot of denim and kind of leather and metal and, you know, chains and things. You know the type of person that I'm trying to describe. So he was really distinctive looking, and he would dye his Mohican like red and green and blue and stuff. And then one day I think I was off work, and you know, the town that I lived in, it's not like a small town or anything, but it's not huge in any way. And I was walking, and there was a guy who looked just like him, and I had to do a double take, but the only real difference was that he was kind of slightly smaller than Vince, I think his name was, I can't remember. I wasn't friends, but he was kind of like a friend of someone that I knew, you know, so I'd met him a couple of times and spoke to him. But I thought at the time, how bizarre is that for, you know, for a kind of town that small to have someone who looks exactly similar, like dressed the same, had a Mohican, it was dyed the same colour, like he was in the same area within this town. You know, it's a town of like, I don't know, say 50,000, but within the same kind of areas. You know, obviously big towns are split up into different areas, so it was in the same kind of locale that Vince lived, and I thought, that's really fucking, what are the odds, you know? But since then, I've noticed it again and again and again, and I notice it even now around people that I kind of speak to, and then I'll see someone who is absolutely their doppelganger walking down the street, and you kind of think, now it makes me think, is that kind of what this CW that I keep hearing is all about, you know? That they're seeing that they have a double U and that they're carrying out these things, you know? Is that why my clothes smell like fucking Raljecks are going on, putting on my clothes when I'm not there? And then carrying out whatever fucking little scenarios it is around the kind of local area, you know? I don't know. It makes you think, doesn't it? It makes you think about what it is that they're actually doing. I've just walked up here, so obviously I've got to be followed. Got to be followed wherever it is that I go, you know. It wouldn't be a fucking average day if that wasn't the case. Got to keep her in sight, keep the target in sight, make sure we know where she's going, because we're sad cunts and we've got fuck all else to do with our time. Anyway, on that note, take care, God bless.